The ethics of Bitcoin are Satoshi created a way, he gave it away, and he went away. So the ethics are what we call the Immaculate Conception. Someone gave this as a gift to the world. And if it wasn't given as a gift to the world, if Satoshi was still here, rich, and bragging about it, and then uttering opinions about how you ought to change or modify the network, that would be an ethical failing, and that would represent unsound ethics.
Wait a minute, everyone. We all agree that the crypto market never sleeps, but with countless newsletters out there, how do you choose the best one for you? Bitcoinzilla stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoinzilla today and enjoy the new edge. In today's video, Michael Saylor discusses the future of Bitcoin, money, and freedom. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the video.
The idea of Bitcoin is I'm using technology to create perfect money. The first question is, will it be banned? Will it be copied? Will it be hacked? Right? Does Bitcoin represent sound engineering? Does it represent sound ethics? Does it represent sound economics? It's very, very difficult to know that in the first year or the first 2 years. In fact, people tried to launch something like Bitcoin 100 times before Bitcoin came along, right? And all of those early attempts failed. Bitcoin caught and it started to flicker. And for the first year and a quarter, it traded, no one ever did a transaction with it. On Pizza Day, after a year and a quarter, Bitcoin traded for effectively a third of a penny. So it was worth a third of a penny to half a penny after a year and a half. So it had a slow early germination period. And if you had a better monetary network, then all the smart money in the world, all the smart people with money would be using it, right? So Bitcoin has accumulated the most physical power in terms of electricity, the most computer power in terms of hash power. It's accumulated the most economic power. $700, $800 billion of real money has been invested in it. It's got the highest market cap, worth 1.3, 1.4 trillion, and it's accumulated the most political power. Hundreds of millions of people who are passionate about defending it. And so how do you know it's not working? Well, if someone came along and launched something that was more popular with intelligent people, then I guess it wouldn't be working. But of course, Bitcoin's been growing first 200% a year, then 100% a year. Right now, it's still growing 40 to 50% a year. So it's a monetary virus that's spreading, and it's extracting the capital from all other capital assets, right? So the proof that Bitcoin is winning is the performance of Bitcoin is 5x the performance of the S&P index. If Bitcoin is outperforming gold, outperforming the S&P, outperforming every individual stock, outperforming bonds, outperforming cash, outperforming real estate, what do you see? You see intelligent people with money voting with their money, and what they're doing is they're selling the weak assets, buying the strong asset.
Bitcoin can still drop below $50,000 if what remains of bid support gives way, new analysis warns. In a post on X on June 14, well-known trader Peter Brandt gave Bitcoin bulls food for thought. Bitcoin is dividing opinion at $67,000 as disappointment builds over the latest failed BTC price breakout. After touching $70,000 earlier this week, BTC/USD once again abandoned its attempt to leave a stubborn trading range in place for many weeks. Instead, regardless of volatility which came from United States inflation data, the market returned to all too familiar territory. Now, Brandt is not discounting the possibility of new long-term lows coming next. Sometimes the most obvious interpretations of a chart work out, Most of the time the charts morph, he wrote, describing BTC/USD as a chart of interest. But the most obvious is this. Break through 65,000, then MICT goes to 60,000. Break through 60,000, MICT goes to 48,000. Bitcoin last traded below the $50,000 mark in mid-February, 1 month before hitting current all-time highs of $73,800. Those highs have since become formidable resistance, with data from Trading Suite, Decentrator, showing the extent of liquidity in place there and beyond. There's pretty thick ask depth around $70,000 and higher. Market will require some new narrative, probably to bid through that, Popular Trader Skew added in part of his own analysis on June 13. Not everyone subscribed to downside being the most likely BTC price direction to come. Bitcoin whales, some market observers noted, had upped BTC exposure significantly at recent price levels. The number of whale entities holding at least 1,000 BTC is near all-time highs of its own this week. Yes, this is bullish, Willy Woo, creator of on-chain data resource Woobull, wrote in part of an X response. Every cycle in the past, the FOMO phase of the bull market starts when they start selling into the price rally, divesting from being whales. Crypto investor and YouTuber Quinton referred to data from on-chain analytics platform CryptoQuant, which showed whale purchases hitting $1.3 billion.
If you want an ethical monetary network, like, do you want to trust all your money in a bank run by 3 people that you know? Or do you want to trust all your money in a bank that's collectively owned by humanity where nobody in the human race can possibly hack the bank? And it's one of them is a protocol beyond the reach of any individual, any corporation, any government. Bitcoin is a system so diffuse that no one entity or person is systemically important or influential, right? Whereas Ethereum or any of these other proof-of-stake protocols, if there's a company, if there's a founder, if there's an engineering team, if you can identify them, then they can change it. And the ability to change the network undermines the integrity and the security and the immutability of the network. And the one thing you want with a monetary network is you want to know that 100 years from now, 500 years from now, 1,000 years from now, the network's going to maintain its integrity. And if it relies upon any individual action, you've already failed. That's why, for example, you speak English and you don't speak the language made up by your best friend that's a little bit more efficient, that's got special words. You're buying into a shared protocol of all of the smart money in the human race. And the smart idea, if you study history, is don't trust anybody. Don't trust yourself, right? Like you could say, Michael, would you rather invest in a network where you control it? Like, no, right? I'm the weak link, right? We're all the weak link at the end of the day. So you want to put your energy and your support behind a network which transcends any institution. That's what secures you. That's what makes it, safe and economically sound.
Election year and current geopolitical conditions make both Bitcoin and gold desirable for investors, they discussed in detail. We're in a period of extraordinary regime change for markets, said Ruffer's Alexander Chartres. Crypto has taken a crucial shift in the current U.S. presidential elections, as both presidential candidates Donald Trump and Joe Biden expressed support for Bitcoin and crypto adoption. Charlie Morris of high-quality investment research firm ByteTree says most politicians in the election race in the U.S., Europe, and the U.K. this year aren't even talking about bringing down debt and deficits. The U.S. budget deficit has hit over $1.2 trillion, and IMF have warned that soaring U.S. deficits fueling higher interest rates. Both Chartres and Morris suggested investors needed to diversify their investment portfolios, with Bitcoin or gold must-have in it, as per current excitement cues. The U.S. Federal Reserve diverged from peer central banks on interest rate cuts this year, has caused investors to lose Bitcoin price momentum once again. The Fed now anticipating a single rate cut this year, compared to the 3 they projected recently in March. However, Wall Street banks expect a rate cut in September that could reverse markets to upside. 2CP Capital said BTC is struggling to recover post-FOMC despite the strong momentum in equities. Why the divergence? We think this is because BTC miners are undergoing the post-halving capitulation, directly capping the price. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.